You ready?
Uh, yeah, I guess. I think I have a visitor.
Oh, my baby. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Girls Who Get It podcast. I'm Sam.
I'm Gard.
So, Julia is not going to be joining me this week for the episode. She just has a lot going on and has family visiting and stuff. So, I was like, you know what? I think I can get us a special guest this week. So, this is my boyfriend. For those of you who don't know, we did a video together for my YouTube channel. So if you haven't seen it, I highly recommend you go watch it. It was pretty good. We played like the newlywed game to see how well he knows me, and he
I did
did
very
very
well.
well.
Mhm.
Yes. Oh, by the way, should we I put usually our Instagram handles underneath us. Do you want people to know your Instagram, or are you keeping that on the
I don't really care
low?
one way or the other, honestly.
Okay, well,
If they're, yeah, I don't really care one way or the other, honestly.
you don't mind if people follow you on Instagram?
Not really.
So if you guys want to go follow his Instagram, he just got Instagram recently again. And Benny is behind me. Benny, there he is.
Mm, Benny.
So this week we're just going to react to some Am I the Assholes from Reddit, because I know you guys seem to really like those. And anytime I talk to Gard about, when me and Julia do these, he's like, oh my God, I love those. I want to react to them. So I was like, you know what? That's perfect. So yeah, I have some Am I the Assholes. Did you find any of those other like,
No, I looked for some, and I think I was running into the same thing that you were, where it was like a bunch of like, oh, like my husband cheated on me, and like I'm gonna send him a conversation of this dude I'm talking to on Tinder. It's like
that that was the
I don't
one
know if
I
I
found?
believe any of them, to be honest with you. I was like, I don't know, but that sounds completely disingenuous to me. But
Well,
you
we'll
know,
see, because like found a bunch of these Am I the Asshole posts like literally not even 48 hours ago, and like half the ones that I had saved, I should have just took screenshots.
hmm,
That's I fucked up.
hmm.
But yeah, like half of them got deleted. So I found there's another thread that he just told me about that's called Truth Off My Chest, also on Reddit.
Is it
So maybe
truth or true?
oh, true, sorry, True Off My Chest. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, I'm very
Um
prideful about it. Please don't mess it up.
so maybe we'll do some of those too. But um okay. Am I the asshole for being friendly with people at the gym? I, 30 male, am happily married to my wife, 30 female. We have been together for 7 years and have been married for 2 years. A few months ago, I joined a new local gym to get back in shape. I'm not overweight, but had a lot of anxiety and low self esteem issues, and my therapist suggested that exercising might help. I go there in the morning, and there are the same 10 to 15 people there at that time. It's mostly a mix of older people and a few people who are very muscular and dedicated.
No,
I'm
this is the
friendly with
YMCA.
I'm friendly with everyone. I met a girl, female, late 20s, there. She's very muscular and is always at the gym when I go. One day when I was working out, she approached me and told me that my form was wrong and that I might hurt myself. She showed me how to do the exercise correctly. I genuinely thought she was a trainer at the gym. Hence, whenever I had any questions, I would always go to her and ask her about stuff. Sometimes she would advise me on how to order the exercises, etc., and we would do the same circuit training. We started chatting after the workout session, but we only talked about workouts, diets, etc. We never exchanged any phone numbers or socials. However, we have met regularly in the gym 4 to 5 days a week for the last 2 months or so. During the Christmas week, my wife decided to join me in the morning. She generally goes to the gym in the evening, but since she had days off, we both went in the morning. Female was working out as usual and staring at us. After our workout was done, I took my wife to meet her and told her that she works here and helps answer any questions. My wife thanked her for helping me out and introduced herself. Female gave us a puzzled look and told my wife, I don't work here, but we have been working out together regularly for the past 2 months and would be glad to help. We all laughed about the confusion, and my wife made a point to tell her how clueless I am in social situations. When I went back to the gym last week, female was acting weird and trying to avoid me. I asked her what was going on, and she said I was an asshole and asked why I was leading her on for the last 2 months. She told me I was a creep and not to talk to her again. I have never talked to her about anything other than workouts and asking for advice. I never flirted with her or gave any indication that I was interested. I, in fact, always wear my wedding band to the gym, so I'm really confused. Did I do anything wrong here? Why would she think I was leading her on if I never said anything about it or flirted with her? What are the rules for talking to people at the gym without being considered a creep?
I don't know. I feel like I've noticed nowadays a lot of people will take like very minor things. Like you'll be like saying like hello to a person. I'll be like, oh my God, he's flirting with me. Like I literally just watched a reel on Instagram last night about like people being obsessed with somebody watching their Instagram story. Like, girl, that means he's obsessed with you. Like, he's probably just bored. Like he's probably just mindfully clicking through the same way everybody else does for every other story on. Like you're probably not a bad guy for
I think
like
what
being friendly.
I think what a lot of people, because like my friends will do that sometimes too, or like my coworker, especially my very young coworker. She'll be like, oh, but he's looking at my story, so obviously he cares what I'm doing. Does it not compute to you that like he probably didn't even click on your story, he probably just clicked on the first story at the top, which
I'll
was
tell you what I
could be
do.
anyone, and then he's just clicking through and
Literally,
yours naturally pass it,
exactly.
and he might be skipping right through it. It doesn't mean he's actually even
Exactly.
looking or
I
caring.
open up stories and I just spam my thumb and until like I see something that
Me
catches
too.
my eye and then I'll go back and actually watch it again. But otherwise, it's everybody just posting memes. It's like da 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 done. Like I treat it like a triathlon, and then I try to finish.
Do you think it's because we kind of nowadays live in a society where people are like a little bit antisocial? So when someone does like
Yeah,
give
probably
you any
some
kind
element
of
of it.
attention or speak to you or whatever, especially in person, face to face,
Yeah, I think it's
it's
just people
like
are so like
seems like a bigger deal.
starved for like any type of like affection or any type of like you said like attention at all. I think it's like if you offer like any type of contact as like a you know what it is? It's like I remember I said it to you right after we finished watching it. It's like the Notebook ruined like every girl in America. Like they all just think it's like, oh my God, like he's watching my stories. It's like some like secret love affair that he'll come back eventually. He'll like DM me. Like probably not. I mean, like maybe, but probably not.
Unless it's you.
Yeah, then I suppose.
It's interesting though, because like when I first read that, I was like, okay, clearly, I mean, and I don't think he's an asshole. I don't think he did anything wrong, especially if he had his wedding ring on. It's like, come on. But at first I was like, oh, she obviously is psychotic. Like, why would you just assume that this man is interested in you and is leading you on if he's just like asking if you're just talking about workouts? She approached him first. But then I was remembering, do you remember how there was that guy that used to work out all the time in the apartment gym where I live? And he would like, I used to tell you how he always would be like slamming shit and grunting and like,
And this wasn't the one with like the fingertip gloves, right?
no, 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 no. He would record himself and then he'd be lifting, like it wouldn't even be like that heavy, and he'd be like making like so dramatic.
I think so, but yeah, actually, yeah, I think I do. I think I do.
Anyway, I would see him like all the time because we would regularly be at the gym and we would usually be there around the same time. And I'd see him all the time, whatever. And then one day he approached me, asked for my Instagram and whatever. And he was like showing me some fitness guy that he likes to follow on Instagram and whatever. And I don't know, we were just talking. And it just kind of felt like he was expressing interest in me. And I was like,
Probably. I mean, if he asked for your Instagram, then almost certainly, right?
but then when I went to go look at his Instagram, he had a girlfriend that he seemed like obsessed with, that he was like constantly posting pictures of. So then I was like, oh, I'm obviously just an idiot and like conceited because he wasn't necessarily flirting with me, but I just assumed, oh, if a man is approaching me and like striking up conversation and asking for my Instagram, he must be interested. But it also was probably just like we were the only two people that would like were very dedicated and were always at the gym, and he would see me also lifting heavy, and maybe it was just like, oh, that's someone who has like the same interests and same hobby as me. It would
Yeah,
be,
maybe. Or he cheats on his girlfriend.
I mean, maybe that's
'Cause
that's always a
as I've
possibility. So we're saying he's not an asshole.
I don't know, it just depends. It really is just in his like mind's eye. Like what was he really envisioning there? Like if you know you're up to some like because we're taking his word for it. You know what I
Right,
mean?
true.
Like who knows what a conversation could have been forgotten about, like what things might have been said that like they're real on the line of like, oh man, like you're looking really good. Like I can see your pump and I can see like you've been working out really like that wouldn't be like flirting, but it's like almost there. It's like you're getting real close to where it's like you're complimenting her a lot.
That's true. I find that I'm curious because it just sounds like he's kind of a socially awkward person. I wonder like how him and his wife met, because I feel like people who were with the same person for a really long time, or it was someone that like they grew up with, they knew from school, whatever, they didn't really like have much dating experience. They don't realize like what
They're
is,
doing.
yeah, like they don't realize like
Mhm.
what is comes off as flirty.
Yeah, yeah, totally. So I don't know. He could be an asshole. He could not be. It just depends really on like what was his actual true like inner. Well, like was he actually like, yo, this girl's kind of bad. I'm gonna flirt with her. I'm not gonna like shoot my shot, but like I'll you're like leaving the door just like slightly cracked, like just a
Maybe
little bit. But from what he presented, I don't think he's an asshole.
I will say though, when I was reading it, I was expecting the story to go in a different direction. I thought the wife was going to be mad at him.
Yeah, I did too. I thought it was gonna be like you fucking toxic.
Yeah, but it
But
sounds like
she
she was
probably,
unbothered. So good
yeah,
for
it sounds
her.
like she was cool with it. Yeah, she sounds like she's completely confident in herself. So yeah.
Slay. Okay, next one. Am I the asshole for raising my boyfriend's rent? A little background. I, 43 female, have been dating my boyfriend, 50 male, for 7 years now. 3 years into our relationship, we decided to cohabitate. The house is in my name. I paid the down payment
Let
from
me
sale
stop
of
you right
my.
there. Anybody that says cohabitate, I I distrust her and her opinion. Like, who the fuck? That's like a lawyer speak. That's like somebody who says monies. Like, don't.
Okay, let me continue. The house is in my name. I paid the down payment from sale of my previous house, appraisal, and inspection fees. Pay for all of the upkeep on the house, manage all bills, groceries, house cleaning, etc. He basically has no skin in the game, has his own landscaping business, so work is seasonal. Basically helps with no housework, just the upkeep of the yard, just the upkeep of the yard work during the summer. When we initially moved in, the house payment was a little over $1,200 a month. I told him $800 would cover his half of the bills. He threw a fit, saying he should only have to pay $600, but ended up agreeing $800 was okay. Now that the cost of living, my taxes, bills, etc. have increased, I feel he should be paying me more money for bills. I think 800 is more than reasonable, and he couldn't find a place as nice as we have for that much. This is a 3,200 square foot house, full finished basement. We have a detached 4-car garage, which 2 of those he uses for his business stuff / storage. He thinks since my son lives there, he shouldn't have to pay that much. My son is 20 with a 3-year-old kid whom he pays all of the expenses for, buys all of his food as well as his own necessities, and pays his insurance, phone bill, etc. He just
Who is
doesn't
saying
pay
that
money towards household bills. The 20-year-old with the child.
the 20-year-old is paying for all of the 20-year-old, like his own
He
stuff?
pays for all of his own stuff. Yeah, he doesn't
Okay.
pay anything, doesn't pay rent or anything towards the house bills, but he is like self-sufficient. He just, as far as like food and his own personal
Yeah. Well, not.
bills.
Yeah, I was gonna say not entirely, but like he is paying for like his kids' diapers, so that's good.
Right. He and his girlfriend are saving up money to buy a house when she graduates college, which I'm fine with. So that's why he's not contributing to
Okay,
house
yeah,
stuff because he's
then
trying to save up to move
that's
out and get a house.
yeah, that's totally fine. Then yeah, fuck it.
And considering he's 20 years old with a 3-year-old kid,
Yeah,
like teen
that's
pregnancy.
interesting. I'm
Yeah.
curious if he's in college, but it's not really about him. So
Yeah. I mean, the girlfriend is in college.
yeah,
Anyway,
so good
so
for
am I
her.
the asshole for asking my boyfriend to fork out some more money for monthly bills? Edit to add. The $800 he is paying a month is all he pays. There is no additional money offered for electric, grocery, water, internet, cable, etc. That is all included in the
Did
$800.
she say what the cost of the like bills were total?
She didn't say the bills. She said that the house, like just her mortgage payment alone is $1,200 a month.
Like, is he splitting on like groceries or anything? Did it say that he
It
wasn't?
doesn't sound like it, no, because she said he's not offering. No, yeah, he's not. No additional money offered for electric, grocery, water, internet, cable, etc. So
And
literally, he
he's
pays $800 flat, and that's it. And then she takes care of everything else. She said she pays all of the bills. She does all the house cleaning. She does groceries, upkeep of the
oof,
house, literally everything.
oof,
She said all he does is he'll do the landscaping outside in the summer.
oof. Oh, I thought he said he had a
And he
landscaping business.
he does have a landscaping business, but it's seasonal. So I guess he isn't
Fuck.
working.
Like not landscape, he plows is what he probably does.
I guess,
Uh
but it's like, what is he doing then?
yeah, I
Like,
don't know. I'm not really. It
he's
sounds
just,
like he's kind of just chilling. Like I would need
yeah.
more, like I said, to truly, because like whenever money is involved, I always feel like weird about it. Because like how much are those kids like contributing to like say like a power bill? If that's her son, I don't feel like he should be accountable for whatever percentage on the bills that like that kid is paying for, like any of that shit. But honestly, he just sounds like a bum if he's like just hanging out and like she's doing everything. Like, come on, bro. Like you could fucking take the garbage out.
Yeah,
That's
like at least help out around the house and
you
split,
like.
buy the grocery, like split
Oh,
the
did it say if it what
groceries.
was it? Is it her house? Like, is her name on the lease?
Her, yeah, she owns the house. She said she bought, her name's on the house. She paid for everything.
Mm.
But still, like she said in this post too, like even if he were to live by himself and rent somewhere, he would never
Yeah, he wouldn't
pay.
get like that. So like he should contribute more, but at the same time, like you could throw him out at any point if you want to. So
That's
like,
what I'm saying.
eh,
Like, what is she even doing with him? It sounds like he's just another child to her.
yeah, like I don't. What's the point of calling him like, oh, he's my boyfriend? Like, well, I mean, is he? Sounds like a roommate. Like you guys are fucking describing like a terrible situation. But I don't know. I don't want to
Yeah.
assume too much. But from what it sounds like, he's he's the asshole. Like, come on, bro. You could probably mow the lawn. Well, it sounds like he was doing the yard work in the
That's all he does, I
yeah, I
guess.
guess it's like you can make dinner once in a while, dog. Like it's fun to cook.
I agree. Okay, next one. Am I the asshole for exploiting a family tragedy? Quote unquote. At the weekend, my uncle passed away. I had not seen him in a few years, but when I was a child, we used to be quite close, and I used to be really close to his children. It was obviously upsetting for me to hear. I put a meeting in with my manager at work to tell them what had happened and explain that I would need time off for the funeral. When I met with my manager, she said it was company policy for at least 3 days off for a bereavement, but she asked if I thought I would need a bit longer. I said I wasn't sure at the moment. My manager asked if I would prefer a week. I said as long as it's okay with her, then yes, a week would be good and it would allow me to see family before the funeral and offer help. I mentioned this to my girlfriend and she mentioned that she didn't think I was that upset to need a week off and asked if I was holding up okay. I told her I was upset, but not completely broken since me and my uncle hadn't been close in years. She asked if I would be spending the week with family, and I told her I'd spend a few days with family, but then I'll probably take a couple days for myself and just stay home and have some time alone. She accused me of misleading my work to get more time off, but I pointed out it was my manager who suggested a week, not me. I would have accepted 3 days. She said I was exploiting a family tragedy to get extra annual leave. I disagreed with her and said it's hardly like I'm using my time off for a holiday and that I shouldn't have to spend it all with family for it to be acceptable, but she said what I did was horrible. Am I the asshole for exploiting a family tragedy?
Hmm. fuck work all the time. Like it's never like you
Well, yeah, like
never
that's
like
what I was
never
gonna
would I
say.
side with the employer. Like
Because
fuck work.
if it was us and like it was the same exact situation, and you were like, oh yeah, they offered me a whole week off, and even
Yeah, I
if
would
it was
take
like
it.
some,
Yeah, of course.
just some distant family member, I wouldn't be like, oh my God, that's really messed up of you to do. I'd be like, oh hell yeah, good for you. If that's what
Yeah,
they
no, of
offered
course.
you and that's part of their policy and like you can get that time, why the hell not?
Yeah, no, of course. Fuck that. Like I
And
just more like never should you ever like always choose yourself over work. Always choose your family over work. Like they'll replace you the day after you die.
yeah,
Just
it's very, very true.
so just never put like any of that shit above family or like yourself, your health.
But even if it's like a family member that you weren't close with at the time, but like it's still family. You had a relationship. It's not like this is a person that you didn't even ever know. Like he was close with this person at some point. So like who the hell is she to say like how like what his grieving process should look like? Am I the asshole for asking boyfriend to cover up? I, 32 female, have a boyfriend, Kyle, 34. Kyle is a wonderful man who's a giant goofball, literally a giant. He's 6'6". A little intimidating and scary because he is crazy buff. I've been with him a little over 2 years. We met at a party. He was going through some issues, and I took it upon myself to help him out. Since it's been 2 years, we decided it's time to meet the family. His parents were nice, so was the rest of the family. They were so thankful that I was able to help out Kyle while going through a rough time. His dad was really nice and happy. This person does not know how to use punctuation. His dad was really nice and happy. He's obsessed with Mexican food, and I'm Mexican and know how to cook. LOL. Last week, it was my turn to bring him to meet my family. So much unnecessary information
This is
there,
just
but
this is like somebody's fantasy. Like this isn't real. Like this is just somebody's
I'm gonna
whims.
here. We're
It's
gonna
a
cut to the chase
whimsical
here.
adventure.
He's covered in tattoos. 80% of his body is done. That itself is not the main issue. I have tattoos and my parents have 3 each. The main issue is that my boyfriend has 2 big visible tattoos, a pentagram and I don't know what this is. A Baphomet?
I want to say that's like that horned skull. It's like a devil representation. I think
Okay.
it's
Am
that
I
like that
saying that
horned
right?
skull. Baphomet? It might be. I'm not sure,
Baphomet.
honestly.
Okay. Something that can be interpreted as satanic. Okay. While my parents are somewhat open minded, they are extremely Catholic. I'm no longer religious, but I just play along to keep
Yeah,
the
this thing.
peace. Okay. Well,
Yeah, that weird, like it's like the weird goat head with horns.
gotcha.
Mhm.
I play along just keep the peace. As most of you all know, most religious people are completely ignorant to the true meaning. They have nothing to do with Satan or any demonic entity. I asked Kyle if he would be okay if we put a band-aid over them. He asked why, and I explained the reason. He said sure, but I could tell he wasn't happy about it. He met my family and everything went amazing. When we got home, he ripped them off in a somewhat angrily way and threw them in the trash. I apologized dearly, but he's clearly really upset about it. So Reddit, am I the asshole?
Yeah, I mean, it's like who cares? But like, if it's just around, like, where are they? Like, where are
That's
those
what
tattoos?
I'm wondering. And like, what kind of band-aids were they? Because I would imagine like it's not
Like, what
some
are they on
little
his
tiny thing.
face? Like,
Right. Like you can't just wear like long sleeves or
put on turtleneck.
something.
Like, what is the? Where do
Maybe it
these
was like
tattoos exist?
maybe it was the middle of summer.
It's hard. Like, I feel like generally you should side with your partner on most things because, like, that's your partner. That's who you're gonna be spending your life with. Like, your parents can't control you and your fucking spouse for the rest of your life. Like that's wild. But at the same time, like to get like really sour about it and be like, oh fuck, it's like what do you think when you were getting a big pentagram tattoo? Like that shit was just like, oh yeah, no, dude, this will be like everybody will fuck with this. No, it's gonna cause a little bit, which I feel like is disingenuous because it's like I feel like people get that shit to be a little bit like I don't want to say like edgy. I feel like that's the wrong word for it, but they get it to kind of be provocative on some level. Like, why are you upset that people are getting offended at a thing that is very clearly meant to be like provocative? Like, obviously there's like deeper meanings behind all that stuff, and it's not necessarily meant to just be like a big fuck you to like other religions. If you're like a 6'6" guy, like super buff, getting like a pentagram tattoo, it's probably because you're trying to be like provocative.
Well,
Like,
yeah, like you have to be totally ignorant to not think like, oh, people are
yeah,
going to
like I'm gonna get like
interpret
a
this a certain
fucking
way.
like, yeah, come on, bro. Like
I will
it's
say, as someone not only with tattoos, but with a somewhat provocative tattoo, I have fuck it tattooed on the side of
whoa,
my foot.
for free.
Oh, you're right. Sorry. One freebie. You're welcome. Feet people. I have fuck it tattooed on the side of my foot, and it like, you can't really see it usually. I know that that's not necessarily the most like family friendly appropriate tattoo. So like that is something like I knew when I got that, okay, this is something that I mean, like my foot is going to be covered a lot of the time, but like I knew, okay, that's something that I'm going to cover up. I wouldn't get that like across my neck or something. When you get certain
Yeah.
things like, okay, there's going to be a time and a place where you don't want to have that shown, because yeah, if things work out with them and they end up staying together for a long time, getting married, whatever, most likely her parents are going to see his tattoos
Oh, they're
at
gonna have
some
to get used
point.
to it. I totally
Right.
support him. I'm like, why?
Same.
What do you think is
But
like? I
if
don't know what he's
they're
getting so
like
pissy about.
I know how religious,
What the
especially
fuck was all
Catholics,
that
can
story
be.
for? Like, what was
I
all
don't
that build
know.
up for? Like, literally, he likes Mexican food. Had nothing to do with anything. He's
His
6'6".
his
He
dad
could have
like
been 4'11". It would have had nothing to do with the
I
story.
know, I know. I love all the unnecessary detail. It's so funny, but um I know how like super Catholic people can be as someone who grew up in the Catholic Church going to Catholic school. So it's like it's probably better to just cover up the first, time he meets them. That way they can like get to actually know him before just like making a snap judgment and being closed off to him, because then that could create problems later down the line. But if they get to know him first as a person and they're like, oh, we really like him, we approve, and then it's like, oh, hey, mom and dad, by the way, he also has these tattoos, this is what they mean to him, it has nothing to do with Satan. Here's another one. Am I the asshole for telling my best friend I won't attend her wedding if she marries her boyfriend? I, female 25, has a best friend, female 25, who recently got back to her boyfriend who cheated on her last year. The boyfriend is a college student, while my best friend and I are working professionals. My best friend, with her amazing FBI skills, found out that her boyfriend cheated on her with not just one, but two women. This isn't the first time. He also emotionally cheated on her during their emotionally cheated on her during their earlier years. I basically talked shit about the boyfriend
What does that
because
mean?
what do you mean?
Like, what is like emotional? Like, she was like he was like flirtatious with another girl, or is like he's like, I think I'm in love with another girl. Like, what is it? What does it mean to be like emotionally cheating?
I mean, I think that's up to interpretation. To me, I think emotionally cheating is if like I don't think flirting is cheating, but if you're like literally talking to someone like all the time and you're having like this connection and like a relationship that doesn't include physical stuff, but it's like more
Mm,
than just like friends. Like if it just feels inappropriate for someone who's in a relationship with someone else, that's emotional
mhm,
cheating, in my opinion.
mm,
I don't know what
mm.
this girl considers as emotional cheating, but either way, he physically cheated on her with not one, but two women. I basically talked shit about the boyfriend because I felt bad for my friend who would call me late at night crying because of what he did. I just found out through her story today that she had gotten back with him. She said she didn't want to tell us at first because of how we would react. Am I the asshole for asking her to go to a counselor and that I would never attend her wedding if she marries him?
Kinda. I mean, like, it's not really your place to like dictate somebody else's relationship, right? Like you should be there to like act like unless it's like physically dangerous to you, like it's not really like you should just be like, yeah, that's a terrible idea. Like I don't think you should do that. But like you're gonna sacrifice your friendship with somebody because of the person that they're dating. Like that seems like a bit much. Um, really, like I said, I think you should just act like be there and whenever they cheat, like because it's probably gonna happen. Like you act as like that support that you know you're gonna have to be. Like don't rub it in their face or anything. But like, yeah, I would say you're kind of a dick if you like because then you're like putting somebody else's like relationship above your relationship with that person. Like I feel like that's
Yeah.
generally not like a good way to operate.
Well, and also I think that like if as the friend you really don't think that this guy is good for her and you want to encourage her to get away from him, being aggressive and like super confrontational like this and straight up telling her like, well, if you stay with him, then I want nothing to do with it and I'm out of here and da da da.
Yeah,
Like
like
I
you're
feel like
also
that's
just
just
like
pushing her towards him even more.
yeah, like you're also just like super pompous. Like imagine trying to talk your friend out of a relationship that they like got into like a month ago and they're like the honeymoon stages and they're just like in love with that person. It's never going to work. Like, and the more you try, like you said, the more you try to offer resistance, it's just going to push them further and further and further in the other direction. Because naturally, that's what happens
Well,
with
and
people
also,
all the time.
yeah,
Like, literally, that's like a known thing with people. So I don't know what, like,
right.
they're just doing something that we know is not effective psychologically. But you know, hey, live your life, queen. Good for you. God bless you. Good for you. She has high standards for herself. I fuck with that.
Well, because it's like, because then the friend, the girl in the bad relationship is gonna feel like, oh, well, now I don't have my best friend, so this guy is all I have, so I'm gonna stay with him even if he's cheating on me because then who else am I gonna have?
Well, exactly. Like, imagine it also like for any other situation, like how shitty you would look. Like, what if it was like an abusive relationship? Like, you're gonna abandon your friend because they're in like an abusive relationship?
I think that as a good friend, you should express your concern, but then that's it. Like that's all you can
Mhm.
do. Just be supportive.
Yeah, I
No
mean,
matter
yeah,
what. Like even if she goes
exactly.
through the same bullshit over and over and he cheats on her again, which I'm sure he will, and she
Probably.
keeps going through this cycle. I know it's frustrating to like and it gets exhausting to keep saying the same thing over and over and keep
Well, it's just like
offering advice, but it's like what else are you going to do? Like
well, yeah, I mean,
you
it's just
got
like
to
a
just be
loyalty
there
and
for
it's a
her.
loyalty and friend thing. It's like everybody has flaws. Struggle through shit with people. It's good for you. It'll make you a stronger person to help. And also, you'll probably see things like, huh, don't want to emulate that in my relationship. Like, there's some behavior that I say,
True.
like, don't want to see that in mine.
I love this one because I can relate to it a little bit.
Oh, good.
Am I the asshole for asking my boyfriend to stop playing games?
Can you relate to this?
Quit playing games with my. She means video games.
Well,
I'm currently staying over at my boyfriend's place. It's a long distance relationship. And
mhm.
since he has a new job, we don't see each other that much. After work, we usually eat, then he plays his video game, and then we go to bed. All fine so far, if there wasn't the problem that he always gets annoyed when he plays that certain game. I'm assuming
What
it's probably
fucking
Call of Duty.
I was literally it was like Warzone, Madden.
I've told him many times that I don't like it when he yells at his TV and sometimes even at me for asking a simple question like, can you please keep your voice down a bit? Even though he told me many times that he wouldn't get annoyed this time, it still happens. A few days ago, I asked him to have video game free days so that we can spend more time together since we already see each other only for a few hours each day. He said he's fine with having game free days every 3 days. So 2 days playing, 1 day, no games. Yesterday, I asked him if we could do something today without him playing games, and he told me that you can't always get what you want. Right now, he's of course playing again, and I'm quite annoyed because all I want is to spend a little bit more time with him. I already told him my reasons, yet he doesn't seem to listen or care about them.
Wait, whose
Now
idea was it for? Let's pause there. Whose idea was it for like the 2 days on, 1 day off?
I get it was him.
Okay.
She asked if he could have some game-free days, and I guess he said like every third day he would
Okay.
do that. Now
That's
I'm now I'm wondering if I'm asking for too much. I know he likes to play to calm down a bit from work, even though he gets even more irritated every time he plays. So am I the asshole for being mad that he won't stop playing? Let me remind you, okay, they're in a long
I feel
distance
like it's fine. I
relationship.
feel like it's
No,
fine.
hold
Like
on. Hold
it's
on.
just
Excuse me. Let me remind you, they're in a long distance relationship and she is over there at his place spending a short temporary amount of time with him. This isn't like they live together on the regular kind of thing.
Mhm.
Like they're long distance, they finally get to spend some time in person together. He's busy working during the day, so they only get to see like literally they it sounds like they just spend time
Did it
during
say how long they've
dinner
been together?
and then that's it. No. But
I
either
feel
way,
like
they're
that's just
long
like
distance. Like if you want to play your video games, that's all good and fine. Do that when she's not there. Like you would think you'd be so excited to finally get to spend time together that you would want to just do that. Why the fuck are you on your doing your video games when you have this girl that you never get to be with literally in your house? Why aren't you spending time with her?
well, I couldn't I raise the challenge back and say like, well, why can't she just fucking play like a video game every once in a while? Like you never hear that. Like you never hear like a girl be like, fuck it, I'll learn how to play Warzone. Like you never hear it. It's never like, oh, my boyfriend plays too many fucking video games. I fucking hate that.
But
Followed up by
also,
like, I'm gonna get hot shit at it so that he fucking feels
well,
bad whenever I play against him. Like,
she said
come
her
on.
main issue isn't even the fact that he's playing games. It's the like specific game he plays. He like starts yelling and he gets really angry and like pissed off, and she doesn't like that.
See, that's another thing. Girls don't understand the like that's a part of the enjoyment. I don't know how to explain it other than it's like it's the rage you feel before you finally accomplish something. It's a very strange process.
Okay,
I don't know. It's just it's a part of it.
I just don't
It's
understand
a part of the hunt.
why he can't just go without his game for a temporary amount of time while she's there. And she
Yeah, I
came to
mean,
him. So it's like
yeah,
she's
I
out of
mean,
her element. She traveled to you to come be with you, and you can't just
yeah, no,
fucking
I mean,
turn your game off.
I think
And
on
like,
some
how is that a
level,
compromise? Like, oh, 2 days in a row I'll play, and then I'll take one day and not play. Like,
well, that's why I was
how
laughing.
about you just don't play at all?
Well, because that's
Or you
not a
just like
compromise
want
either.
one day because it's temporary though. I'm not saying for the rest of your life. I'm just saying during the span of time that she's there visiting. Spend
I
as
think a
much
lot
time
of
with each
people,
other as you can.
I think a lot of people get worried about like this girl's gonna make me like not play and the video games anymore. Like she's gonna be not cool with me ever playing shit. Like it just is like starts at a place. I think that's what a lot of guys are worried about. They're worried about not letting someone take too much control from you.
But the thing that's
Or it
frustrating,
may not even be that psychological. It may just be they enjoy video games a lot and they don't want somebody to tell them. He probably has autism. That would be my
but
guess.
I was gonna say
Especially
like
if he's playing
this,
like League. He
right?
probably
Like
is.
this sounds like a total fucking weirdo because what person like it's not
Well,
even
that's not what I
no,
was.
it's not even about like, oh, she's telling me I can't do this. Like no one wants to feel like your mother. Okay. No one wants to be telling you I
Well, then don't
do
take the
want you to
role
do
though.
this and I don't want you to do that. It's like I would hope that you as a human being, as a grown adult man, would be so excited to get to be with me in person during this temporary amount of time that like that would be your number one priority,
Yeah,
not your like I
for
would hope like
sure.
I would hope that you wouldn't even be thinking about your game like,
I
oh,
just think
I
it's like
want to go
difference
like
in well, it's like difference in like enjoyments. It's like I think a lot of women enjoy literally
I
just like sitting
understand when you
around
live
doing like
together and
you
you're
know, I was gonna say
together
like
all the time, but like when you're long distance, it's like that's how we were when I was up there for Christmas and New Year's. It's like we don't get to spend time with each other physically that often. So it's like when we are together, like we literally just watched movies
Yeah, we spent pretty much all that
the
time
whole
together.
time and spent, yeah, like
Yeah, that's
constant.
why I'm not particularly on either
And that's
side
not
yet. I mean,
something
I
that
just
I wouldn't expect that, or probably, to be honest, I probably wouldn't even want that. Like when the time comes, I mean, we've lived together before, but like when we do live together again in the future, I'm not like, I would never be like, I never want you to play video games. I want you to spend every waking moment that you have with me. No, because I want my own alone time too. And I want to go do my own shit. But like when you're long distance, it's like that you have that limited time is like so precious. Like, why would
yeah,
you
I don't
want to
know.
waste it? You can go play video games when she's back wherever the fuck she
I
normally
think people just
lives.
get kind of accustomed to like the distance and probably like the lack of like contact. So it's like when you're doing like long distance, it's probably just like you're used to not necessarily having like the other party there. So it's like all your habits are probably still really routine. It's hard to break out of that. That would be my guess.
I'm just frustrated for her.
Yeah, I imagine most girls will be.
So what do you think? Do you think that she is being unreasonable and she's the asshole?
I don't know. I think it's here's what it is. It's like it's unreasonable that she did ask, but it's also unreasonable that she had to ask.
Right.
Like it's just both parties. Like he should be dedicating more time to like whatever, and she should be like, okay, this dude like clearly gets a lot of enjoyment out of this. Like, why don't I try to pick up on like some level of activity too with it so we can enjoy this thing together?
But what if like the
Like,
game he's playing is not something that she can participate in? What if it's just like a single player
well,
game?
I mean, I don't know how many girls are actually trying to like play. I mean, you could also just like watch, just even like the participatory like act of being there, like watching and like engaging with it like it's a movie, like
Yeah,
any
but
other
that
piece
gets
of media.
boring after a while. If you're just sitting there watching for hours, like no one
Well,
wants to
for
fucking do
sure,
that,
like,
to be real.
and that's why it's like you wouldn't like. Hopefully, there would be more, interactivity.
You would want to sit there and watch me fucking paint my nails for 5 hours?
Well, not
No,
particularly,
exactly.
but
Thank
like,
you.
but video
Case
games are
closed.
generally more engaging than like
They're
painting your
not.
nails. No, you don't think
They're
so?
not.
You don't think so?
Some of them can be, but like,
Like when you're playing GTA, like when you were blowing up cops with
yes,
RPGs and
okay,
GTA miniguns,
yeah, I love
like,
that
did you
shit.
think that that was more or less engaging than painting your nails?
No, I'm saying no, I'm saying some video games, yes, are enjoyable and engaging.
Right,
And like The
right.
Last of Us, love that kind of stuff. Walking Dead, love that. But like fucking Call of Duty, absolutely Halo, absolutely
Well,
fucking
that's
not.
some of the stuff that you could probably actually.
Absolutely fucking not. I
Well,
would
I was
rather
gonna say
sit
that's.
there and like pull my fucking fingernails out one by one.
Well, I mean, that's listen, I totally get it. That's just some people have their preferences, but the same way, like you're like, I want to fucking have my own free time so I can make TikToks and rock out on Candy Crush.
Yeah,
Like
but
I would
I would
literally.
never do that during limited time we had together and expect you to sit there and be like, this is so engaging and amazing. I'm just so happy to sit here and watch you do that and
Well,
ignore
no, but if
me.
we were literally just like sitting together on the couch, like while you were scrolling
I
through
think that she
Instagram and
should
doing
dump
that,
that
while I was
guy.
okay. Well, I mean.
I think she should dump that guy. And if he wants to play his video games all the time or wants someone that's going to be excited to watch him play video games, he should date a man.
Fair enough. Fair enough. I would say that women should learn how to have more fun with male activities, and then they'll understand. Uh, and then they might get a glimpse into why men hate hanging out with them so much.
Oh my god. I think it is give and take though. Like yes, your partner, regardless of what your genders are, um you should try to compromise with your partner and
Of course, yeah. I mean, that's really
express some
ultimately,
interest in what they're interested in, even if
yeah.
you couldn't care less, but like,
Well,
try
that's
to
what I would say.
enjoy
Like,
it with
ultimately,
them.
the story is probably like he should be more engaged with her, and she should be more engaged with him and his activity. Like, that's literally just they both should be more engaged with each other and their
But he
activities.
shouldn't be playing video games that much while she's there while they're long distance.
Debatable. I would say that she could also learn to get on the activity, and then they might have fun together playing the video games. Who knows? Who knows? She might have fun playing it. Why are you looking at me like I'm crazy? She might enjoy it. She might just like
Okay.
it.
Okay.
She might like it.
All right. Let's do one last one real quick. Am I the asshole for not caring about my boyfriend's concern? My boyfriend and I own a house together. I'm using the spare bedroom as a workout room. The thing is, my type of workout is pole dancing, so there's a pole in that room. The room has a window facing the street. My boyfriend wants the pole concealed from the public's view at all times because it is disrespectful, quote unquote, to the neighbors. He doesn't want our house to be the house mothers have to cover their kids' eyes when walking past. He doesn't want parents to have to explain to their kids about pole dancing. He thinks I should respect the neighbors by sparing them the awkward conversation, quote unquote. He says 90% of people would agree that it's disrespectful to the public if they see the pole. He says it's quote unquote wrong to show the pole to the public, and if I love him, I would care about his concern. I, on the other hand, don't agree with his viewpoint. I think what I do in my own house is my business. It's the parents' job to teach their children about the world, not my job to hide the world from them. Also, I'm not even doing anything wrong. It's literally just a pole in an empty room with no one dancing on it. To accommodate him, I keep the blinds closed at all times, and I would never dance with the blinds open. I just simply don't want to be watched. But I don't see the need to even have to hide it in the first place.
Oh yeah, well, I mean, if he's freaking out, as long as like the blinds are like, because that was my first thought throughout this entire thing. Was like, we have curtains. Like, the fuck is going on here? Um, I mean, if he just sounds like a psycho. If he's like, if it's all covered up, like, then who cares? Like, you're freaking out for nothing.
He clearly has like his own internal like
Like,
weird thing
yeah,
about
like strippers and
strippers,
like
clearly. Yeah. I
and
mean,
obviously about like public perception of himself and his wife, like struggling with this.
100%, 100%. To me, I don't think that's something that would even be worth a fight. I would be like, okay, whatever. Like, I'll keep the blinds
Well, it does. It sounds like he
closed
doesn't
while I'm
even
in
like.
there. Like, what's the big
It sounds like
deal?
he's just not cool with the stripper pole being around at all. Like, that's what it sounds like. He's just not cool with it being there. Period. Versus like the blinds being closed. Which, like, if the blinds are closed, like, who cares?
Yeah.
But he sounds like he just wants to fucking rip that shit out now.
But I'm sure he's like okay with the results of the poll
Probably, probably.
because I'm sure she's in great shape because as someone who took pole dancing classes,
Yeah, that shit is. It looks hard.
it's a good workout. It will
Yeah, as
get
someone who
you.
also took pole dancing classes, it was very physically challenging. But I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised if there were details left out of that. That's why it's like I always just like that's the first thing that pops into mind with everyone. It's like the same thing with like that tattoo guy. Like, what's not being included there that he's freaking out about? Like, what's not being included here that like he's freaking out about that she doesn't see as like a bit. Who knows? Like,
Yeah.
if it's according to her everything, then this guy's a fucking nut. It needs to relax a little bit.
What if you were a parent and you were like walking in the neighborhood with your kid and like you could see a stripper pole through your neighbor's window? Like,
I'd be
would
like,
you
nice.
feel
I'd be like,
like,
that's fucking. I'd
oh,
be
they
like,
should close the
nice.
blinds?
Not really. I mean, if like maybe if they're like naked dancing on the pole, that's something else. But like, people hide too much from their kids. Like, I don't think you should like shove sexuality down their face, but like, you don't like have to sit there and be like, well, that's just stripper's pole, sweetie, and like people dance on it and have dollar bills thrown on them while fucking Flow Rider plays in the background. Like, nobody, you don't have to go into that much detail. You could just be like, oh yeah, like that's an activity adults partake in. It's exercise. Like, you don't have to, give your kid the whole story. You don't have to give your kid no story. Like, I would personally, I would see that in a house and be like, cool. And then
I
just
would,
move on with my day. I would literally
yeah.
move on. I don't even know if I would notice it,
I
honestly.
was gonna say, I don't even know if a kid would like, if that's something a kid would even like think
They
to
probably,
point
I would literally
out
be
and
like, oh, that's a
question.
support beam in the house.
Right. I mean,
Like,
yeah.
their kid literally has no idea.
Yeah. I think he's definitely overreacting. Okay. Well, we are running out of time and also running out of daylight here. So we are going to wrap up this episode. Thank you guys so much for watching and listening. If you aren't already subscribed to our YouTube channel, make sure you subscribe. That way you can watch the video version of these episodes. And thank you so much, my darling, for helping me out this week and
no problem. Hopefully it's
joining
not
me.
too tough of a listen for everybody.
I think you did great as your debut. It was amazing.
Fantastic.
And
I know. No, I know. Thank you. I know. Thanks, everybody.
We would love to have you back. So hopefully there will be more of you.